consultant with Shinola. We work together. Been in the industry over half my life, and I've been working on computers and with computers and building my own computer since I was 13 years old. When I think about it, back when hard drives were the size of shoe boxes, and you know, hard drive this big held 8 megabytes. And so if you're not interested in computer stuff, just go ahead and move on right now. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm going to be building myself a new video rendering workstation, because mine that I'm using now is 3 or 4 years old and it's kind of not working for me anymore. So I bought myself this crazy contraption right here. This is just the motherboard. So I thought I'd do a quick video on what a computer really is on the inside. Let's open it up. It's got the motherboard in it. This motherboard is made by EVGA, as you might have seen on the box. It is. So let me take this out of the box and get the box out of the way. Alright, so this is the real deal. This is the main part of a computer. Most motherboards are not this large typically. And I will say right off the bat, I know I'm screwing up. Well, I'm not screwing up because I've done this all my life, but typically you don't want to handle electronics like this in a bare configuration because of static electricity discharge on the circuit boards has the potential to really screw them up and make them worthless quickly. Let you guys get a look at it. Trying to keep the light from reflecting off. So these plugs here are for the hard drive. This would be for a CD-ROM drive or any other what they call an IDE drive. These are PCIe 16X slots. It's where video cards would be plugged. You can use 4 of these slots, this one, this one, this one, and this one, for connecting up to 4 video cards, and then you can connect them together to work as one big gnarly video card. Underneath here is the 2 chipsets, which is basically the brain on the motherboard that tells all this stuff how to behave. Here, underneath these stickers, are where the RAM goes, the random access memory. And then right here and right here are where the 2 actual CPUs would be plugged in. Let's get busy. Let's build a computer. It's easy as cake. Show you what the CPUs look like. I have 2 Intel 5220 Xeon quad-core processors with 12 megabytes of L3 cache on board. They are hyper-threading, so in parallel you would realize actually even though there is only 4 cores, they show up as 8 processors. So this is actually what a computer processor looks like. You can see it's actually pretty small. It's not very thick. There's the bottom of it. Little transistors in the middle. I'll take one of these guys out. There's a little lever here that you push down and pull out, and this socket opens up. Well, it's supposed to open up. There we go. And it says, attention, don't screw this up. If you put them in backwards or upside down or whatever, it's going to void the warranty, blah, blah, blah. You can only put these in one direction into that socket because there's 2 little notches, one here, one here, and they meet up with a couple of notches down here in this socket. There's only one way it'll go in. So that's the right way. Basically you just close this little door, put this thing down. Ta-da! Processor. To keep this guy cool, the computer will only run for about 3 seconds without overheating, without a what they call a CPU cooler. So that's what this thing is. It's basically like a radiator. There's a fan in the top of it. It's a little sweat on there. So this part goes down against the CPU. It's got this special coating on it that actually makes a really good contact with the CPU. What it's called is evading me right now. So I will notate that. And basically these little fins are cooled through this copper tubing that carries the heat into the radiator fins, so to speak, and then you have a fan that draws the air away from the radiator. There's 4 holes in the motherboard right here. Basically we're just going to set this down on top of the processor while lining up the holes with the screws, and that's basically it. We'll screw these down, and I'm going to go ahead and put the other processor on this side and get both heat sinks installed, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got 2 CPUs installed. You can see I have this one fan is already plugged in. A lot of motherboards, well, all motherboards will have at least one plug on them. So it provides the power for the fan. There's also one of these leads is a thermostat, so if the processor senses that it's getting too warm, the chipset on the computer will tell this fan to speed up. Likewise for this side, we'll go ahead and plug this guy in over here. And that's really all there is to it. This isn't rocket science. Anybody can do this. Next processor down. Next thing we're going to want to do is throw some memory in it. This is what they call DIMM slots. D-I-M-M. Individual slots. Now these are color coded. Basically the red ones you need to populate first. So you can see they're numbered as well. So if you only had 2 DIMMs, you'd need to put one in slot 1 and another one over here in slot 1. And basically they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have to populate them in that order. So we have our RAM, or memory, whatever you want to call it, right here. Basically, these chips will only fit in one way. You'll see there's a slot in one. They'll only go in one way. So basically you just set it in there and then push until you hear the click, and then do the other side, go click. That's it. So I'll get these populated and we'll see what it looks like then. Anyway, I was saying, you know, this is basically the internal part of the computer. The only part that'll be visible is what they call the backplane. And you know, this is, wow, somebody's crazy today. You have your USB ports, your sound speaker out here. There's 2 external SATA outputs for additional hard drives if you want. And then these 2 guys are the USB version 3. These are the version 2s. You have 2 Ethernet RJ45 jacks there. PS2 keyboard connector and a couple more USB 2. And here, this little tiny red guy is actually a reset button in case things go really south on you. You can just tell the thing to start over. hope you found this sort of educational. I didn't want to bury it in terminology and words that were kind of intimidating. So anyway, that's how to put together a motherboard for a computer. Thanks. See ya. Thing weighs about 40 pounds, I would guess. It's got the Pimp Daddy see-through case. Really large fan right here that's going to be blowing on the Mobo motherboard. All these different available places to put your hard drives, and I guess that's just an accessory box in there. Go around the front. A couple of good sized fans in here. And the top, this is what I was talking about earlier, this thing right here. You can you see that connector down in there. That's an SATA hard drive connector. The fat one closest to my pointer finger is the power, and the one next to it is the data. So that's really cool. I'm digging that. Take a look inside here. All these cables that will run up into the top where that's connecting. And you got a exhaust fan right here. And some jumpers going on in there. Not sure what those are for. We'll figure it out. Oh, I know what those are for. See the that large 4-pin connector right here? And you can plug that into the power supply, and then each of these smaller plugs will control a fan. So that's pretty cool. So, and it looks like there's another one down there as well. That's pretty cool. Digging that. Okay, let me get this sucker turned over on its side, and we'll mount a motherboard. You notice these little nut there? It's called a standoff, and there's several of these. Here, here, here. There, and there, and some more over here and there. Those correspond to holes in the motherboard, and like this one, and that one, etc., etc. So I gotta eyeball this motherboard and find out which one of those standoffs will potentially short out the motherboard. Some of these guys may not be needed. So that's just one thing to look for. Okay, so I went through this motherboard case, or this computer tower case, whatever you want to call it, and I had to pull out a couple of them, and I actually noticed, you'll see some of these are lettered. There's an E, an M, there's one that says H, HE above that, and there's another one that says H. All those have everything to do with the form factor size. Anything with an H on it is the place where you'd want to have one of these standoffs screwed in, with a couple of exceptions. There's a screw here. It's labeled H. If I was to put that in, it would be directly under this, the chipset, and obviously there's nowhere to put a screw through that, so obviously it doesn't belong there. So I've counted, triple checked. Okay, so that's what the board looks like inside the case.